Okay, how you guys doing today? Alrighty, so here is this new thick skin 8x12 that I got from this tattoo little truck that pulled up to the tattoo parlor. I hope you guys are having a good day today. So today also, me, I always use this Tom's deodorant. So the difference between this skin and the other skin is that this one's a bit thicker than the other one. As I place this design of Felix the Cat on the new skin that I'm going to try out today, I realized that using the Tom's deodorant on this particular fake skin, as I was doing it, I realized that it basically kind of shifts the or fades away the actual printout of the design. I realized that during the tattoo. As you can see here, I placed the design on the tattoo fake skin, so that way you guys can see how it looks. If you see here, now that I'm actually gonna start outlining, this skin is actually super great. It's probably my favorite skin that I've used. I've only used 3, but this is the one. The only downside of this skin, as you can see on the top right, is that when I'm doing the lining, if the ink kind of spills over to wherever the design is located, it actually makes it disappear. So I will figure out what I could do to avoid that, or have not go through that, but I mean, this skin is super great. The Amazon fake skins that I've been using for the last 6 months, the only good thing about them is that when you're doing the design or tattooing it doesn't erase the transfer. But what it does do is, if you actually put your palm on the design, it will fade it out too. But this one's a little bit more technical. Also, this one here, man, I actually fell in love with it. I was able to actually do shading really well. I was actually able to do the outline of the whole design, and actually go back and forth, get a better feel on the skin. It actually feels like real skin. Once I get into the process of actually shading the some areas where they have the shadow, I got to go back and forth, and it was actually a super great experience with this fake skin. I don't know the actual name of it, but I just know it's 8x12 is way thicker than the Amazon ones. It's a little bit more expensive, but I figured that it costs $12 for this sheet, this 8x12. But I realized you could actually do a lot of things with this. This size of tattoo, you could probably do 4 or 5 on one side. And that's the bonus, that you could actually use the back side of this fake skin. Obviously, if you don't go super deep. But like I said, it was super interesting. And I actually had a lot of fun with it. I realized that this was the closest that is similar to actual skin. The way the needle was hitting, the way the ink was going into the fake skin, all of that stuff. I realized that this is probably the one that's more comparable to it. See, I haven't cleaned it yet on the right side, because I realized that what was happening was, if you see that line that I just did, it actually erased the whole lining of the transfer. So that's when I realized. That's why I was kind of undecisive of how I was going to go about this design or fake skin. Reason why is because it was erasing the actual design. See there, I actually stopped halfway. People don't recommend that, but and then I did that there. But see how I started more on the right and I went through all the way? You can't see where I started or where I stopped. That's where I want to make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable, that you can stop, but you always want to go ahead and actually start probably 2-3 centimeters before where you finish that line. That way you don't get that circle dot when you restart the line. That tends to happen to a lot of people. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys are actually, getting a little bit more information. If you guys have any comments or anything, let me know. I usually, go based off whatever people tell me. I also do a lot of posts to see what you guys want me to tattoo next. These are just something that I wanted to try out. I've been doing a lot of Mario, Luigi's, Bowser's, and Princess Peach. I am thinking of doing some color ones on this one to see how I could actually, because color seems to be a little bit more harder than black and white or just black, but we'll see how. Probably that'll be my next design, something in color, a flower, maybe a character. I do have colors, so maybe I could do a Sonic, something like that. I'll figure it out, or Mickey Mouse. But as you can see right there, I started, but then I went back, but I go all the way through. That way you don't get that line. So just feel confident when you're doing tattoos. Like I said, I never actually went straight years tattooing. I did some in when I was a teenager, but it wasn't something serious. It was a 1 thing or 2 thing. That was it. It wasn't like, oh, I wanted to go ahead and pursue this, but now I want to pursue this career here. And plus I love drawing. I love painting. So it goes hand in hand. I think if you have a passion for something, that you should just go for it. Just because maybe your parents or other people tell you not to do it, just because they don't either want you to do it because you're either going to be successful or they just don't believe in you, whatever the case might be. Just ignore that. As you can see, I filled in there. I'm starting to fill in a little bit more. I felt super confident in filling in. I think there's an area here where I actually fill it in and I clean it. But like I said, I was kind of afraid of cleaning it and losing the design because the way it basically stayed on there and it was coming off as fast as I put it on. So I went to go ahead and then actually just filled in the hand. I did the hand. I filled in the rest of the head. I was actually playing back and forth with this. That's the good thing about, tattooing on fake skin. You could actually go about it however you want. You don't necessarily have to follow the traditional way of doing things for tattoos, but I do always recommend it. Always put your transfer. You always either want to start outlining from the bottom right, from the bottom up. Never tattoo from the top to the bottom or the left to the right, because you will be smearing your design. Doesn't matter. Sometimes it just happens where you lose the design, and that's a big mistake. You could actually potentially probably lose a customer or have somebody be upset, or because then you have to redo it and the placement won't be the same. So always try to like figure out what not to do. It sucks that you have to think more sometimes of the negatives than the positives, because there's not a lot of room for mistakes when you tattoo. Either you do it and you do it right, or you do it and you do it wrong. It's always a 50-50. But I realized that with tattooing now that, the great thing is that I've been tattooing a lot of my family members, and, they actually believe in me, and for somebody to believe in you and actually let them do tattoos on them it's a big thing for me. So I try to take my time and make sure that I do it right. I try not to rush it, and because I tell people I don't want to do a tattoo if I can't do it. Don't do that to yourself. Always think that you can do it. Just make sure that you're patient about it and you do it right. Take your time. Don't rush it. Just be confident in yourself. I think if you always think that you can't do something, you're putting yourself down. So just move past that, and I think you could be successful. And like I said, as you can see here, I think I fill in all these areas, and then I do those lines on in the front of the engine, and then I think I clean it, and then that way you guys see that like some areas weren't filled in all the way, and I just went back to it. So I think this is the area where I actually like clean it up. I actually, grew some courage of cleaning the design. It'll be more clear like where I had made a few mistakes. You could say like filling in, not mistakes, outlining, perhaps, but it's good when it's in the area where you have to fill in or you have some shading. The next one I'm gonna try to push more that where I have like an area where I have to shade. That's why I like flowers, because of the overlaps, the tulips and stuff, or whatever, the little leaves. It gives you the opportunity to practice the shading there. See, there you go. As you can see, I could clean this one off really good, and I could actually go back and actually shade. As you can see, there's some areas where like the ink didn't go really good in, like at the bottom of the airplane. And then there are some other areas I had to fill in. If you could look at the top right eye, and the black area is not filled in real well, but I was able to fill in the finger up top to your left. I believe I want to go ahead and redid it. Just made the outline a little bit thicker. And there was areas like right there, like I said, I was filling in, and it felt really good to know that I could go back and forth and play with it. That's the main reason that I actually and highly recommend this fake skin here, because of that. Other than that, I think that I could do the same line work or better, or the same, or actually better on the Amazon ones, because they're so thin. But since this one's a bit thicker, you could actually, notice the difference, that it actually feels like real skin, As you can see there, I'm able to clean it. I could see it. I could spray it. I could keep working on it. On the other hand, with the Amazon skin, I wouldn't be able to do this. So there's some pros and cons for everything, It's never going to be like how you want it. It's always going to be like however the product or the actual person. The skin's always different. Everybody's different. But like I said, this one at least let me play with it, where like I was able to erase, I was able to fill in, I was able to come back and forth without actually damaging the skin like the Amazon ones. And then this is the area where I filled in the rest of the shading on the head, because it had, as you can see, I'm cleaning it, and it's actually pretty good. It smears right off like if it's the actual skin. So, that's why, like I keep saying, that I can't stress it enough. This skin is super good. And this is basically the finishing touches on the mortar. Some people recommend to actually just, where you're filling in that area, just stay around that area and keep doing it there, and, keep working that area, and then you keep working, and then just you move forward, because if you keep coming back and forth to it, you could actually damage the skin. So this is pretty much it. This is probably like the final product. But like I said, this skin was super good. It actually felt like the needle was going into a skin the way it bounced back, into the cartridge. So, I was super excited about that. I couldn't, I even told my wife I couldn't like help myself to actually keep telling her that, damn, this skin is actually really good. It actually works the way I've been looking for. But the only problem is that it's a bit expensive. That's the downside. I'm used to buying 50 skins for like $40 or something on Amazon, and this one's a sheet and it's only $12. But if you work it well, you could probably get between 10 or 12 tattoos. If you do smaller ones, you could do probably like 20 or 25. It just depends what you do. But like I said, this one is super workable. It's something that like I would recommend. I'll figure out the name for you guys, and thank you for watching again. You guys have a good one.